Hi and welcome. My name's Brendan Kelly, and today's conversation is all about how you make your life goals real. How do you know that they're actually going to work, that you can actually achieve them? You see, setting up goals that are way out into the future is lovely, but there's a risk of it becoming a pipe dream. Great to have, but bridging the gap between today and then is unknown. And as a result of that unknown, there's a lack of reality around whether that's achievable or not. So how about we go through a system that's going to allow us to determine whether our life goals are achievable? And that introduces me to the idea of the half-life third value approach towards a reality check for the goals that you want to achieve. Now, I recently did a live presentation to a group of people around this very topic. Now, in this presentation, a member of the audience put up their hand and said that they'd be happy to put themselves out there as an example of how this system works. So let's pick up the conversation where we start to introduce the half-life third value concept to Mary. The process that I call half-life third value, it's a form of equation, mathematical relationship. Mary is not going to start there and linearly grow like that. That's not going to happen. Mary is going to grow in her wisdom and her skill and her ability over time, and towards the back end of her journey, she will have a far greater rate of return on her property investing because she knows more. Does that make sense? Yeah. She's going to have more skill, more knowledge, and more money to play with, and therefore the profits will be larger and more readily available to her. Yeah? Doesn't mean it won't be hard, doesn't mean it doesn't require work, but there will be a greater level of confidence. Then there will be down here with perhaps less money and less skill starting off. Can you see that? So in that then, we need to figure out a way of calculating out goals in such a way that it reflects the reality of growth. Cool. Half process being half-life third value. So this is a 2-year goal. Yeah? Half-life, 1 year. Yep. Third value. What is a third of 1.875? 625. Yes? Does that make sense? Yeah? Cool. So here's this. You need to now go through the same process for you. Yeah? You now have your asset base. You've told yourself when you want your time frame. Yeah? I need you now to do half-life third value. So let me go through it as a process. Just in a broader example. Let's say I want $100,000. Yep, I want $100,000 in 8 years. Yep, $100,000 in 8 years. At 8%, that means I need 1.25 mil. Does that make sense? 8%, 1.25 mil invested in whatever assets, giving an 8% return will give me $100,000 of passive income. Yeah? If I want that in 8 years, what do I need to do? In 4 years, I need to have created a third of that. What's a third of 1.25? 4. What's something that's easily divided by 3 after that? 42. 420,000, yeah? Approximately. Yes? Cool. So if I want, what's that half-life third value? 2 years. Half the life, third the value. What's a third of 420? 140. Yes? Half-life third value, what do I need in 1 year? 140 divided by 3 is about 45. 42, something like that? 45k. Does that make sense? Yep. So in 12 months' time, I need 45k. Yeah? So if I'm starting with whatever I'm starting with, I need to create $45,000 more than I've got today, outside of what I'm earning to live off. Can you see that? Yeah? So I need you now to do the half-life third value approach on your goal. Take a minute, get your calculators, I want everybody to know what their 12-month goal is. It's important that you know what your 12-month goal is. Spend the time, do the exercise. This is your life. Create it. Go. Yes.
Supposing your time frame was 6 years.
Great, beautiful.
The point is 3, but it's not a linear curve, so you can work out 1/3 for 3 years. How do you then reverse extrapolate that?
Wonderful. So let's say it's 10 years. Yeah, or you want to pick 6? Let's do 6 years. Yep. Half life, third value. Half of 6 is what? 3. Third the value. Half of 3 is what? 1.5. Third the value. Yeah. Half of 1.5 is what? 9 months. Yeah. Well, we don't want to do 9 months. I only want to take it to 12 months. Yes. So at 1.5 years, 18 months. Yes. Let's make it half.
So basically, you're chopping.
I'm just guessing a little bit in the last few months. I want a 12-month goal.
So just to clarify, you're dividing the horizontal axis by 2 each time.
Yep.
You want to be right on the vertical axis by 3.
Correct.
Each time.
Perfect. Yep. Here's my question. And this is a question for you to consider when you're doing your goals. This is a reality check for you. For Mary, you need another $625,000 over and above what you have now in 12 months.
Is that possible?
Is that possible? Do you believe that you can do that?
Yes.
Does it, okay, does it feel like it's possible to you, or do you feel, oh,
With a bit of help, I think I should be able to do it.
with a bit of help you think you'll be able to do it? Okay, great. So you need an asset base already existing that's big enough to get into a deal that's going to yield a profit that's big enough, but in a 12-month time frame.
Explain that again.
Sure. So for Mary, okay, so yeah, let's broadly explain this, yes? If I have an asset base already, an amount of money in my bank account, sitting in my bank account that I can play with property on, and it's $100,000. Let's say it's $100,000. And I go invest that somewhere, such that in 12 months' time, I've turned that $100,000 into $725. Is that realistic? The answer would be, with $100,000, no. Right. So if I've got $1 million sitting in a bank account, could I turn that into 1.625? In other words, earn 62.5% on that in a 12-month time frame. It's possible a bit dodgy. If I've got $10 million, can I earn 625 off my $10 million in 12 months? Well, that's a lot easier. Does you see my point? So what I'm saying is you've got an asset base big enough to produce 625 in your mind in a 12-month time frame. Bingo! Yeah, do you get that? Yes? This is your reality check. Right now is your reality check. Think about it. As an example, if I wanted, I need $45,000, yeah? In this example here, 8-year time frame, $100,000 of passive income in 8 years, I need $45,000 through my property investing. And I'm going to need it in a 12-month time frame. If I'm on a $20,000 a year income, what's the likelihood of that? Not a lot. If I've got $10,000 sitting in a bank account, what's the likelihood of that? On a $20,000 income. Really tough. Does that make sense? So you need to make a reality check. This is your chance for a reality check. In 12 months, you've already figured out a number, what that number is, your goal is. Over and above what you're already earning, over and above what you've already got as an asset base, using only the money that you've got to play with, can you create that 12-month goal in a 12-month time frame? Yes or no? For hands up those who say, actually, yeah, that feels comfortable, I can do that. Awesome. Hands up those go, I'm really not sure. Great. Hands up those go, no freaking way. Right. So the idea is if you're not sure, you've got 2 choices. Talk to somebody with a little wisdom about the possibility of that, part 1. Part 2 would be actually make it realistic. Lengthen the time frame of your goal or shorten the value of your goal. Does that make sense? Yeah? Lengthen the time frame Because if I did this over 10 years, it means this goal becomes much less. Can you see that? Yeah? Or shorten the goal. Maybe I don't need 100 on day one, maybe 50 on day one will be fine, and then I'll grow into 100 later. Can you see that as a possibility? Cool. All right.
Brendan, would you look at the key figure is the 8%, isn't it, as you said?
Correct.
Would you look at somehow increasing that without being
Brilliant.
really risky in a mining town?
So another way to do so, and you've raised a valid point, if this 8% becomes 10%, if I get cleverer at my investing such that 10% is far more certain, can you see how that means this needs to be less? But in the end, you've adjusted this goal. Yep. I've got cleverer here. I'm spending my energy learning to be better here. Therefore, this doesn't need to be so high. Consequently, neither does that. Yeah? Our objective right now is to make sure that in my 12 months, that number there is a number I can believe. It's a number that I think I can create over and above everything I've got. Yeah? Right. Wonderful. So, Mary, on the provision, on the proviso, on the concept that your 625 is a bit ambitious as a possibility, yes? What would you like to do? Lengthen the time frame or shorten the goal?
Lengthen the time frame.
And I back you, yes? Is there a specific reason for 2 years? Or was it an arbitrarily created number?
A particular birthday.
A particular birthday. Lovely. Wonderful. Great reason. And can't be adjusted. Yeah? Right. Okay, good.
But I'm prepared to extend it out.
Extend it out? Okay. How many years would you like to extend it out by?
Another 5.
Another 5. So now it's 7 years. Yes? All right, good. So for the example, and then just to make sure you've done yours right too, do you mind if I go through Mary's for 7 years? You okay if we do that rapidly? Yeah. All right, great. So Mary's for 7 years. Yep, you want it. 150 here. Yes? Let's go with 8%. You need 1.875. Yes? Over a 7-year time frame. Half-life, 3.5 years. Yes? Third value was 600 and, what do we say, 25? 625. Yep. Great. Half 3.5 is what? Thank you, 1.75, appreciate it. 1.75, yes? 1.75, third of 625 is? 200 and 210. 210. Yeah, good. 210 is a good number. Yeah. Why is 210 a good number?
Because
divide by 3, you love it. Right. 1.75, half of that is?
70.
About 8.8 something, yeah? Which is about, what, 10 months in a year? 9 months, 10 months in a year? So because it's not an exact 1 year and I want 1 year, we play with the figure a little bit, yeah? So 8 months is 70,000. Let's target maybe what, 90,000 in 12 months? Are you happy with that? Is a fair and reasonable estimate? A rounding? All right, so 90,000. Does 90,000 seem far more realistic to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Can you see how this plays out? And does now this is the internal question, yes? Are you feeling more of a buzz on the inside about 90 than you did about 625?
Yes.
Yeah? There's a, yes, yeah? Motivation, all right. I'm going to run with 90. You okay if we run with 90? The work that we've done here with Mary is the same work that you can do for yourself. The process of half-life third value reality check that allowed Mary to be inspired by $90,000 as a target for her for 12 months is the same approach that you can adopt with your plans to achieve financial freedom. The primary objective here is to get to a 12-month goal that you believe you can achieve and are excited to be going for. Because if you think about it, if you can achieve that 12-month goal, you are well on the way to following the plan to having the life that you want to live. The main reason this conversation exists is so that you are more armed and prepared to achieve the wealth that you want in your life. And I look forward to being able to support you to achieve that. Until we meet again, invest wisely.